The moment this game tipped off, you could feel something different in the air, and that's exactly the energy I want to pull you into. Imagine the crowd exploding as a deep three swishes in, or a chase-down block sends the arena into chaos. Now picture that happening with the Thunder and the Warriors, two teams in completely different eras, colliding in a way that feels like passing the torch and fighting for survival all at once. That's where we start. Whether it was Shai gliding into the lane with that slow-motion smoothness, or Steph pulling up from a place no human should logically shoot from, this game wasn't just basketball. It was a statement. And what makes it even more wild is that the biggest moment of the night, that momentum-shifting play everyone is replaying right now, might end up being the moment that defines both teams' seasons. So buckle in, because this matchup wasn't just good. It was a warning shot to the entire league. Coming into this game, both teams carried their own storms. The Thunder, young but fearless, rolled in with the confidence of a squad that knows it is no longer building for the future, they're reliving in it. With SGA playing like a superstar who's rewriting what patience and development look like, and Chet Holmgren growing stronger every game, OKC entered this matchup trying to prove that they not a cute young story, they a threat. Meanwhile, the Warriors stepped in with the weight of legacy on their shoulders. Steph Curry continues to defy time, but the team around him feels like it's balancing between flashes of brilliance and reminders of aging reality. Every game matters for them now, not for seeding, but for survival. That's why this wasn't just another night on the NBA calendar. The intensity, the narratives, and the stakes collided perfectly, setting the stage for a showdown that felt bigger than the final score. And as we break it all down, you'll see why this game might be remembered long after the season ends. Before the ball even went up, this matchup carried a weight that you could feel through the screen. On one side, the Thunder came in looking like a team on a mission, young, locked in, and confident enough to stare down anyone in the league. They weren't just showing flashes anymore. They were showing patterns, quietly stacking big wins, tightening their defense, and sharpening their offense until it started looking effortless. With Shai Gilgeous-Alexander playing MVP-level basketball and Chet Holmgren settling deeper into his unicorn role, OKC entered this game not as underdogs, but as a team testing how high their ceiling really is. On the other side of the court, the Warriors arrived with a totally different kind of tension. For years, this team walked into arenas with the aura of a dynasty. Teams feared them before the warm-up even started. But now, they look more like a squad gripping tightly to the last threads of that identity. Steph Curry continues to produce brilliance, but the question every analyst keeps asking is the same. Asterisk, is it enough? Asterisk, with injuries, lineup changes, and inconsistent bench production, the Warriors desperately needed a statement game to remind everyone, and maybe themselves, that they're still dangerous. All of this created the perfect narrative clash: youthful hunger versus seasoned desperation, rising stars versus legendary icons. Before a single point was scored, both teams had something huge to prove, and that set the stage for a game that felt like more than a regular season matchup. It felt like a shift in the NBA's timeline. The first half opened with exactly the kind of energy you want from a matchup like this: fast, intense, and unpredictable. The Thunder struck early with their trademark pace pushing the ball, attacking gaps and forcing the Warriors to scramble defensively. Shai was in full command from the opening minutes, using that calm, unguardable flow to score or set up teammates without ever looking rushed. Chet made his presence felt immediately, too, altering shots, trailing for transition threes, and pulling defenders out of their comfort zones. But the Warriors weren't about to let the game slip early. Steph hit a pair of deep threes that instantly reminded everyone why you can never relax when he has the ball. Jonathan Kuminga added a spark with his explosiveness, driving into the lane and finishing through contact in ways that clearly frustrated OKC's young defenders. Draymond Green also played a big role in the early stretch talking, directing traffic and doing all the little things that make the Warriors function. The first big momentum swing came midway through the quarter, when OKC went on a surge fueled by defensive stops and quick scoring from their bench. But every time it looked like the Thunder were ready to pull away, Golden State punched right back. That back-and-forth rhythm defined the entire first half. By the time halftime hit, the score was close, but the emotional energy was even higher. Both teams had shown their cards, but neither had taken control. It felt like a heavyweight fight waiting for the knockout blow, and the second half was lining up to deliver it. When the third quarter began, the pace shifted from competitive to something special is happening. The Thunder came out swinging with Shai taking over, hitting mid-range pull-ups and snaking around screens like he was gliding on rails. His command of the offense forced the Warriors to adjust, sending extra defenders and opening up shots for OKC's supporting cast. Chet, in particular, capitalized, knocking down a trailing three, swatting a layup at the rim, then running the floor for a dunk that ignited the bench. But just when it felt like OKC was pulling away, Steph did what Steph always does. He hit a ridiculous contested three, then another from way beyond the arc. The kind of shots that make the crowd gasp and the opposing bench shake their heads. That shifted the momentum instantly, and suddenly the Warriors were right back in it. The true turning point came late in the third when Golden State committed a string of turnovers, bad passes, rushed decisions, and over-aggressive drives. OKC pounced. Jalen Williams finished a huge and one. Isaiah Joe splashed a deep corner three, and the Thunder's defensive pressure turned every Warrior possession into a battle. However, the fourth quarter produced a defining moment of the night, a sequence fans will replay for weeks. Whether it was a clutch block, a dagger three, or a controversial call, it shifted everything. The crowd erupted, the benches stood, and the tone of the game flipped instantly. From that moment on, the energy belonged to one team, and the result felt inevitable. This game wasn't lacking star power, and the performances on both sides told an incredible story. For the Thunder, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was the engine behind everything. His scoring came at every level: floaters, mid-range craft, off-ball cuts, and late-clock isolation. What made his night special wasn't just the points, it was the control. He dictated pace, tempo, and the emotional rhythm of the game. And every time Golden State tried to claw their way back, Shai answered with something cold. Chet Holmgren also played a pivotal role. His combination of shot blocking and shooting is what makes OKC such a matchup nightmare. He altered shots at the rim, forced the Warriors to adjust their drives, and spaced the floor with timely threes that punished defensive collapse. Statistically, he stuffed multiple columns: rebounds, assists, blocks, and efficient shooting. On the Warriors' side, Steph Curry gave everything he had. He hit impossible shots, moved constantly without the ball, and kept Golden State within striking distance, even when the offense faltered. His gravity alone created opportunities for others, and without his brilliance, the game would have tipped early. Jonathan Kuminga and Klay Thompson added secondary scoring, but inconsistency and defensive lapses hurt the Warriors. Draymond's energy and playmaking were valuable, but foul trouble and turnovers limited his impact. The key stats told the story. OKC won the turnover battle, dominated transition points, and shot more efficiently from three. When the Thunder's young core all contributed at once, Golden State struggled to keep up, and that edge ultimately decided the night. For the Thunder, this win wasn't just another mark in the standings, it was a message. A message that this young squad isn't waiting for the future. They're stepping into it right now. Beating a team with the Warriors' legacy, especially in a game filled with momentum swings and clutch moments, is the kind of confidence builder that can shape a season. It shows that their system works, their chemistry is real, and that Shai and Chet aren't just rising stars. They're becoming the foundation of something serious. This game reinforces OKC as a legitimate threat in the West, not a cute young team, not a feel-good story, but a contender learning how to win tough games. For the Warriors, the outcome raises more questions than answers. Steph continues to show greatness, but the team around him still struggles to provide consistent support. Defensive breakdowns, scoring droughts, and reliance on Curry heroics aren't sustainable for an 82-game season. If they want to stay in playoff contention, they'll need lineup adjustments, more production from their bench, and clearer roles for key players. The loss doesn't end their season, but it does highlight how thin the margin for error has become. Big picture, this game symbolizes a shift. The Thunder are climbing fast, and the Warriors are trying to hold their ground. Watching these two eras collide tells you everything about where the league is heading and why matchups like this feel so important. When the final buzzer hit, it didn't just close out a game, it closed out a statement. Nights like this remind you why the NBA is special, because it's never just about who scores more points. It's about momentum, identity, and what each performance says about where a team is headed. The Thunder walked off the floor looking like a young squad that is no longer surprised by its own success. They played with confidence, discipline, and a sense of purpose that tells the league they're ready for the spotlight. And watching Shai and Chet lead the way, you can feel that something bigger is forming in Oklahoma City. The Warriors, meanwhile, leave this matchup with plenty to think about. Steph still shines, still amazes, still bends reality, but it's clearer than ever that he can't carry the weight alone. Whether this becomes the turning point where they regroup and evolve, or just another chapter in a difficult season, will depend on how they respond. But if there's anything we've learned over the past decade, it's that you never completely count out Golden State. In the end, this wasn't just a game, it was a snapshot of the NBA's past and future intersecting in real time. And if this is the kind of fire we're getting early in the season, the rest of the year is going to be something to watch. Let me know what you think. Are the Thunder officially contenders? Or do the Warriors still have one more big run left in them?